Hey YouTube, my name is Tristan Van Beem and I'm an aspiring sports broadcaster. I recently just graduated from the University of North Texas, and while I'm searching for a real job, I decided I'd give this whole YouTube thing a crack. Basically, what I'm going to be doing on my channel is I'm going to be going over weekly NFL picks, picking my teams to win every single week for you on my channel. Also, I plan on doing things such as power rankings or just NFL franchise videos and all sorts of other things that are found on YouTube, but they're going to be in my own creative perspective. This is my first video of many that I plan on posting. And to catch you up on what today's video is going to be about, I'm going to be talking to you about why I missed the first 5 weeks in the NFL season. This should be coming out right before the Week 6 NFL season starts. And basically just what I plan to do with this channel. My ultimate goal is to be on a weekly basis with these picks and give you guys some fresh, new content from someone who has a degree in sports broadcast and just journalism in general. And you may be wondering why I'm wearing a suit. The reason I'm wearing a suit is because one day I would love to do this on air for a real news channel, not just in my bedroom. So, you gotta look the part if you want to be the part, am I right? But anyway, you've heard me talk too much. Let's get right into this week's picks. Now, here's the reason I missed the first 5 weeks of the season. Basically, I work a job right now. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to expose myself, but I just didn't have a whole lot of time to really get this going. But now that I finally do have some good time and all my equipment's come in, I can really get this going. Now, I use this app called Pick'ems, and I've been tracking my picks ever since week 2 to now. Yes, I did completely miss the first week of the season, all right? I know. I'm already off on the wrong foot here, but just hear me out. I have a lot better stuff coming your way. Now, I will show you the pictures here of all those picks, and right now, I stand at an astonishing 33-29 record without that first week, obviously. If I counted those 16 games, my record would be trash. It would be terrible, and I just don't feel like that's fair to me, so I'm going to keep it. 33 wins, 29 losses. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's go to Thursday Night Football. All right, first pick of this week, we have Thursday Night Football, where the Seattle Seahawks will host the San Francisco 49ers. Now, as you can tell, this video was uploaded after this game happened. I'm filming this video after this game happened. Don't worry, I'm still unbiased. I already did my pick before the game started, and I wrote this whole script before the game even started. So, I figured I might as well keep to the script, and turns out I was right on my prediction, as you'll see. As for the 49ers and Seahawks, they're both coming off tough losses, especially San Francisco against the Cardinals team. That should never have happened, especially considering they were in the Super Bowl just last year. The Seahawks are kind of just one of those teams where if you're a fan of them, you think they're going to do really well. If you're not, they're just kind of in the middle of the pack, not going to really impress you in any way. Some key takeaways for this game is that the 49ers have the number 2 offense going into this game, with Jordan Mason having 447 total rushing yards of the season. Now, this could really expose this number 20 Seattle Seahawks defense, and I really think it is going to. Seahawks-wise, they have the number 3 passing offense, and the 49ers have the number 4 passing offense. Very evenly matched in there. Surprisingly, Brock Purdy is doing the same thing he's always doing, but Geno Smith is actually keeping up with them pretty well, considering. Geno Smith, speaking of him, also has 1,446 passing yards of the season with 5 TDs. His main receiver being Kenneth Walker with 202 receiving yards. This game is honestly just going to come down to the run game on both sides of the ball. Now, I know that Brock Purdy has shown to be an elite passer, even though he's inexperienced, and Geno Smith is actually the complete opposite. He's been in the league for a lot longer than Brock Purdy, but he's always just been kind of a solid backup you throw in unless your quarterback takes a dive in like the last quarter and you're up by 20. So, Geno's really going to struggle there. It's also going to come down to George Kittle making those big plays for the 49ers. The Seahawks defense really has to step up in this because if Brock Purdy and the rest of the offense can get on a solid rhythm, it might be over for Seattle. And I honestly don't want that to happen because I believe this Thursday night game will be one of the most electrifying ones we've had this season. And it's not going to be some boring old game like it was the Patriots and the Jets. No, I think that the Seattle Seahawks are going to hang in there. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to say this is a 49ers W. For our next pick, we have the Green Bay Packers hosting the Arizona Cardinals at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, one of our first early games of the week. Now, here's the thing. The Cardinals aren't looking like that great of a team this year. They haven't really been great in the past couple years, but they did get that crazy win over the 49ers last weekend. And as we know, a lot of upsets can happen in the NFL. This has been a crazy season of games, especially weeks 1 and 2. So honestly, anything can happen, but I do not think that's happening this week with the Packers. I think the Packers are coming away with this win, much simply because the numbers don't lie. Here, let me pull it out real quick. Yeah, I mean, the Packers have a number 4 offense, a number 3 rushing offense, a number 10 passing offense. Now, their defense is kind of struggling a little bit. They have the 21 overall defense and the 23 passing defense. So, that may open up some room for Kyler Murray. He may be able to make the most of that situation, but I see this being a low-scoring game for Arizona. I also don't see Green Bay really taking advantage of this opportunity. I mean, Jordan Love was playing well the first couple of weeks, but he's kind of slowed down a little bit, especially off that injury. So hopefully he can come back from that and just seem like his old self, because I'm excited about Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love can be one of the futures of the NFL, and I really hope to see it. Overall, the Cardinals' defense is just bad. I mean, they're at number 25, and with the Packers having both a number 10 passing and a number 3 rush attack in Josh Jacobs, I just think that's in a later game. I just think the Packers are going to take way advantage of this team and just either run the ball over them, or Jordan Love is going to finally get his groove back and just pass all over them, and the Cardinals aren't going to know how to stop it. Kyler Murray won't be able to keep up, and that is going to result in a Packers win. Getting into our next pick of the week, we have the Tennessee Titans hosting the Indianapolis Colts, another 12 o'clock game. The Colts are currently sitting at 2-3, while the Titans sit at 1-3 coming off that bye week. In my honest opinion, I really think this is going to be a battle of the bad QBs. Good thing for Anthony Richardson for coming off that injury, but at the same time, I just don't feel like his play is going to progress anymore. Same with Will Levis. Will Levis is just having a horrible time in the league right now. I mean, you can see the memes of where he looks like he's about to cry. It's just overall not looking great for Will Levis. I mean, yeah, this guy is just really struggling to get his head in there, and he was a great college player, but as we know, that doesn't really transfer over to the NFL all the time. And what's scary for the Colts is that the Titans have the number 1 defense in the league overall. And the Colts, they have number 32, the worst defense in the league. So if you can already see where I'm going with this, I think the Colts' terrible number 29 passing defense is going to allow Will Levis to actually get something done here. I feel like he's not going to fully shine, and the NFL won't be shocked. He's not going to have, some sort of CJ Stroud performance where he just blows everyone away. But he's going to be able to get down there and have a touchdown or two and really take advantage of this bad Colts defense. And, I mean, the Colts are coming off a bad loss. Oh, wait, my bad. They're coming off a W against the Bears. Both these teams are coming off a win, actually. But, yeah, I mean, I just think this Titans defense is going to be too much for them. The Colts also have a mid-level rushing attack with number 12 at the rush and number 12 at the passing defense. So I don't think this middle-of-the-pack defense is going to be able to hold up against Will Levis in them. I'm not saying this Titans team is any that good, but I just think the pressure is going to be too much. There's not really a whole lot to say about this game. I don't think anyone's really excited about this game unless you're a Titans or Colts fan. But just get ready to see a Titans win. Next up, we have the New England Patriots hosting the Houston Texans. All I'm going to say is there's a reason that the Patriots are 1-4, and there's a reason why the Texans are 4-1, and it's going to show in this game. I mean, yeah, CJ Stroud is just showing why he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL right now. He is on fire, especially beating a red-hot Josh Allen, which is hard to do considering that he had his first 3 wins in the season. Now, the CJ Stroud to Collins connection for 567 yards this season will absolutely dominate the Patriots defense, who currently sit at number 25 in passing and just number 24 overall. This game is going to be hard to witness for, I know I already said this, but hard to witness for the Patriots fans. I mean, Jacoby Brissett was already getting it handed to him because of his terrible O-line, and now you want to throw Drake May into the mix. I think this is just going to be terrible for Drake May. Now, I'm not saying he can perform bad. I just think that his O-line's overall, underperformance is going to hurt him more than he could possibly understand. Now, I'm not writing off Drake May. He could show potential. I just think he needs a good O-line for you Patriots fans. There's not really a whole lot to say about this game except just watch out for this quarterback to be absolutely just taken over in this game. I have a Texans win. I'm seeing a big blowout for these Texans going into, I believe it's their bye week. I'm not 100% sure. Oh my God, Tris, you can't be saying shit like that. Okay. For our next game, we have the New England Patriots hosting the Houston Texans. Patriots currently sit at 1-4, and the Texans sit at 4-1. And I think this game is going to show why each of these teams have these records. As far as the Patriots offense goes, this is going to be a rough one to watch. I mean, the O-line is already bad, and now they're taking out Jacoby Brissett, who is at least used to how bad this O-line plays throughout his first 5 games of the season. Now they got to throw Drake May in the mix. Now I get it. Jacoby Brissett was not performing at a level that you want from your quarterback to perform, but when the big boys up front can't protect you, there's not a whole lot you can do. And I just think sending in a very unexperienced Drake May is not going to help the situation at all. And I think that CJ Stroud is just way too hot in the league right now. I mean, he beat a Josh Allen that had 3 wins in his first 3 games of the season. That is hard to do. And I just think that his connection with Collins for 567 yards throughout the whole season is just too powerful for this Patriots defense to handle. I mean, they sit at number 25 in passing defense in the league and number 24 overall defense. So there's not a whole lot to say about this game except for the fact that I think this is going to be a huge blowout with the Texans. I think they're going to walk into Gillette Stadium and just absolutely upset the Patriots. Texans win on this one. Next, we have the 2-3 New Orleans Saints hosting the 3-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Baker Mayfield has been balling on 3 playoff-level defenses in the past 3 weeks, and the Saints are currently sitting at a number 23 defense. I think that is going to hurt this Saints team a lot in this next coming up game. Derek Carr also wasn't playing that great, but it doesn't really matter because now he's hurt, and they're going to have to rely on their backup quarterback to see if the Saints can keep some sort of momentum going. They did really well in their first 2 weeks versus the Panthers and the Cowboys. As we've seen, that's not really helped them out in these past few weeks. Yes, we've had a lot of surprise teams going into this season, but as you can see, their offense didn't do great against Kansas City. I will give them points, though, as Kansas City is hard to play against, but I do not think that's going to help them out in this Tampa Bay game. Tampa might be relying too much on Baker Mayfield to get the job done, but that's not as bad as the Saints situation because now they're completely relying on Alvin Kamara to get any sort of points going in this game. And yeah, I think this is an easy win for Tampa Bay. They're going to come up with it, and maybe the Saints can put up, 10 to 17 points, but I don't really see much happening outside of that. Tampa Bay comes up with a win. We have the 2-2 Philadelphia Eagles hosting the 1-4 Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't think that my prediction is going to come off as a shock to you, but I think the way this game plays out may come as a little bit of a shock to you. I can honestly see this game going either way. I think the Eagles can win it, and I think the Browns can win it, mainly because both are struggling. Now, obviously, the Eagles are a lot better of a team than the Browns, but they've had a rough season. I mean, obviously, their 2-2 record shows for it, but their offense hasn't been moving the ball that well, and their defense has not been backing them up that good. The Browns are just struggling overall with Deshaun Watson. They don't have a ton of playmakers on offense as well. I don't think any of us really predicted that Deshaun Watson would be good, but I didn't think we thought he would be as bad as he's doing. Now, as I said, the game can go either way, especially with this Browns offense sitting at number 32, last in the league. But the Eagles have a number 27 defense, so maybe that could help the Browns out and help their case a little bit with how the season's going. I think the Eagles defense needs to step up a lot going into this game, especially with Darius Slay Jr. And just so he can take some pressure off of the offense. Jalen Hurts, along with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, are really carrying the load for this Eagles offense. And I think that's putting a ton of pressure on them. They're having to try and do a lot of special stuff to win games. Don't do that with the Browns. Just get down there, score touchdowns, nothing fancy. Get your first downs, get everything going, and they'll win this game. I think they've been trying way too hard to win games. They're in their own head, and I think that if they just go out there, play solid football, put up, 2 touchdowns and a couple field goals, they'll be fine. Because this Browns defense is lacking, and I don't think they have a ton of morale going into it. The organization is just kind of struggling as of right now. And I think the Eagles just go out there, play bare minimum football. They will get this win. As I said earlier, it can go either way, but I do have the Eagles winning on this one. Oh boy, oh boy. We're getting to some real good football now. We have the Baltimore Ravens at 3-2 hosting the Washington Commanders at 4-1. This is going to be your classic quarterback versus quarterback matchup this week, folks. All right. Not only do both teams have stellar quarterbacks in Jane Daniels and Lamar Jackson, but what separates the Ravens on this game is they also have Derrick Henry. He has just been a force this season. I mean, he is the number one rush attack in the league, which gave the Ravens a number one offense overall. Lamar Jackson is sitting at a number pass offense, and that's just what making this Ravens team look so scary. I mean, they were able to put up, 38 or 41 points against the Bengals this past week, and the Bengals, even though they are struggling, they're still a good team. So I know it was a big rivalry game, and that's just what you expect going into it, but the fact that the Ravens were able to pull up that win was pretty impressive. Jane Daniels might struggle during this game, though. I think he's still a great quarterback. I think he still has a bright future this season and in his NFL career. But unfortunately, he's kind of carrying the team. I mean, the Commanders have a 22 overall defense. That's pretty bottom barrel of the league. They don't really have any star power out there. I think this defense really needs to step up if they want any chance of winning with just Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry with the Ravens. I think this is going to be way too hard for him to pull rabbits out of his hat and just go down there and throw touchdowns over and over and over again. I think that the defense might overwhelm the Commanders, and this is going to be a tough one for Jane Daniels. But I still think it would be a good game. This is going to be a high-scoring game, high-scoring game, either by just the Ravens or by both the Ravens and the Washington Commanders. I'm still having the Ravens take away a win on this one, but this is going to be the most explosive football of the week. Alrighty, y'all. Now we have my own personal favorite game of the week. The 3-2 Denver Broncos host the 2-2 Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I'm not the most observant guy myself, but if you cannot tell, I'm one of the 5 Chargers fans out here, especially in the state of Texas. I may be a delusional Chargers fan, but I genuinely think they get the win this week, and I'm going to tell you why. Both the Chargers and Broncos are ranked pretty evenly this week. The Broncos have a number 28 offense, and the Chargers have a number 29 offense. Broncos sit at number 3 defense, and the Chargers sit at number 5 defense. This is going to be a huge defensive matchup, and I think the main reason for that is just the quarterback play on both teams. Justin Herbert got hurt against the Steelers. I mean, he already had a bum ankle, but he was really taken out on the Steelers game. Tried to play, but against the Chiefs, didn't work out so well. But now they're coming off a bye week, and he is fully back healthy. Bo Nix, obviously, rough rookie year as most rookies expect to have. But he's not doing terrible. I'll give Bo Nix some credit. I think he's going to put up some points on our defense because, it's just the Charger thing to do. But the reason I see the Chargers coming in with this win is just I feel like we don't have the best playmakers in J.K. Dobbins and Lance McConkey. But I think that they can get it done here. This is going to be a very low-scoring game. I think it's just going to come down to defensive players making big defensive plays and maybe even scoring some touchdowns. I think that Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are going to come off the ball, hopefully get a fumble, maybe pick it up for a return. So it's all just going to be about time of possession and field position in this game. I'm predicting low 17-10 game, nothing really crazy here. I don't know. I just have a good feeling about the Chargers. I will most of the time pick them in my picks, unless it's just a game where I know we're going to get obliterated. But in this week, I'm feeling pretty confident about it. I think Bo Nix is still going to struggle in this game, and I'm not really convinced if Sean Payton knows what to do with him. And they don't have a ton of stars except on defense with Darius Slay Jr. He is going to be a big threat to our receivers and Justin Herbert. I think he's just going to have a very explosive game as he's had in the past couple of weeks, and that's definitely someone to look out for. But I'm still going to have to go away with a Chargers win. Alrighty, next up, we have the 2-3 Las Vegas Raiders hosting the 3-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, if this game would have been a few years back, say 2018, 2019, this would have been a really exciting game for both franchises' fans, but I think this is just going to be a pretty middle-of-the-pack game for this week. These teams aren't really doing anything extraordinary. It's kind of just a middle-tier team with the Pittsburgh Steelers going against a low-tier team in the Raiders. Both teams are kind of struggling, figuring out what they're going to do. I think that Justin Fields can lead this team to an overall another 500 season. But I just don't think anything special is going to happen in this game. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game because Gardner Minshew and Justin Fields just aren't on a very hot streak right now. If the Raiders want any chance of winning, their defense needs to step up. They're currently ranked at number 17. Now, I just said that Justin Fields is anything special, but I still think he can go down there, make plays, score touchdowns as any quarterback can in the league. And the Raiders, they had a couple good games this season. I mean, they beat the Ravens early back in like week 1 or 2, but I just don't think that the rest of the NFC North is going to hold up. The AFC North, is going to stand for that. I think the Steelers come away with this win. There's honestly just nothing special sticking out to me about this game, and I think it's just going to be one of the more boring ones to watch. But I do have the Steelers winning in Vegas. All right. Next up, we have the first red hot take of the week. Now, what that means is normally when I'm picking who's going to win on the picks app in my phone, I get this gut feeling that a team is going to win, even if they're severe underdogs, like, they have like a 9% chance of winning. This is before I look at any stats or, the highlights of the game that they played previously. But I think this is my game for this week. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Detroit Lions as my red hot take. The Cowboys currently sit at 3-2, and the Lions are at 3-1. Now, the reason this is my red hot take of the week is I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot for saying this, considering that Jared Goff threw an almost perfect game in the first half and like a perfect game in the second half against the Seahawks. But I think the Cowboys come away with this one. And the reason is the Cowboys always find a way to just take time off the clock and hold on to the ball. Now, I think that if they hold on to the ball for too long and get down there in the red zone and can't do anything about it and kick field goals, then they lose this game. They're probably going to get blown out. But if they can find a way to get down to the red zone and actually score touchdowns, they come away with this win. That was their big problem in the first few weeks of the season. But they were able to get down there and score against the Steelers. They had to do first couple field goals in the beginning. I will say what the Lions have going for them is that the Cowboys currently have the number 22 defense in the league, and Jared Goff was on fire last week, and I think that he can keep that momentum going into this one. But I don't know. I just got a feeling about those Cowboys. And yes, I know I live in Texas, and I live around the Dallas area. Okay, I'm not biased. Cowboys fans annoy me a little bit, so I'm not just going to pick them because I live here. But I don't know. Whenever I saw this game, I just had that gut feeling that the Cowboys are going to go away with this win. And yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys on this one, surprisingly. Sweet. Now that we got our red hot take out of the way, I'm going to keep this next game short and sweet. We have the Carolina Panthers hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Now, you could probably guess why this pick is pretty short, but the Carolina Panthers are just struggling as a franchise. This is considered the dumpster fire of the NFL right now, and it's just showing a lot in Andy Dalton's play. I mean, I agree with benching Bryce. I think they should have waited a couple more weeks maybe, but now I think after this game, if Andy Dalton does poor again, they're going to try their shot with Bryce Young again. But enough about the Panthers. What about Kirk Money Cousins? That man is just killing it right now, dude. The Falcons are somehow coming away with these last-minute wins, and I think this is going to be a real breather for Falcons fans right now, this week, because they finally don't have to worry. I don't think they have to worry about the Carolina Panthers at all. This is finally not a game they're going to have to win in overtime or just last second by a field goal or just completely depend on Kirk Cousins. I think they throw a few touchdowns, maybe get a rushing touchdown in the first half, get up by, 14, 21 points, and just really put this game away before it even starts. Yeah, I don't think the Panthers are going to do that hot this season. Maybe 2 or 3 wins. So, yeah, I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons on this one. Alrighty, y'all, we're coming down to our last 2 games of the week. We have the New York Giants hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, man. Such a disappointing start to this season, starting at 1-4. I never would have guessed. I don't think most people would have guessed. I did expect the Giants to be 2-3. I mean, that's honestly a little better than I was expecting, but yeah, as you could probably expect, I'm taking the Bengals on this one. I mean, the Giants just don't really have anything going with Daniel Jones. I'm surprised he's still on the Giants. That just really shows how much faith they have in the organization so far. Yeah, man, overall, the Giants' number 20 offense and pretty decent defense at 12 is going to maybe keep this game close. I don't know. It just kind of depends on how Joe Burrow and, his weapons and Jamar Chase and stuff are feeling. They did put up a lot of points against that Ravens defense, which is always been OP. So I think that the Giants are really going to struggle here in that number 12 defense. I mean, it's good, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to hold off the Bengals. And I'm sure they are just so sick and tired of losing that they can't even afford to lose against the Giants. I mean, their next 4 games are set up for them to really, get over 500 again. And I just don't think they're going to waste that opportunity and even keeping it close. I think they're going to come out and just throw everything they have at that Giants defense. And then same with the Bengals defense. It's, the Bengals have the number 26 defense in the league, so definitely not impressive, but I think they're going to be highly motivated to, win this game so that way they're not laughed out of the stadium. But yeah, I got the Bengals taking this one. Alrighty, y'all. We have made it to the last game of the week. It is Monday Night Football, where the New York Jets will host the Buffalo Bills. Jets currently sitting at 2-3. Bills sitting at 3-2. Now, as we all have seen, Josh Allen was off to a hot start in his first 3 games. But we don't really know what's happened the past couple weeks. He's not really been doing Josh Allen things, but I think he's going to come away with a win this week and just kind of, get back his mojo a little bit. Get back to doing Josh Allen things, especially because these Jets just fired their head coach after 5 weeks, which is a little insane. I mean, the morale with that whole Jets team and just organization has to be at an all-time low. They came off a hard win against the Vikings in, what was it, like London, or it was some other country, I can't remember. So, they have the travel, jet lag, they have a morale dump after a loss against the Vikings, and now they just fired their head coach. This locker room is not going to be doing too hot. And, the Jets aren't really any sort of special team, and neither are the Bills as of right now. However, the Bills have been playing pretty mediocre defense. I mean, they're sitting at number 20 defensively, so maybe Aaron Rodgers can get something done. He is overall that veteran, so, we'll see about that one. But honestly, I just see the Bills taking this one. I think the Jets' morale is just going to be too low, and they will be sitting at 2-4 after this game. Alrighty, y'all. There you have it. My Week 6 predictions in my first video on YouTube. All my picks are done. Let me know in the comments below whether you agree or disagree with my picks. I would love to hear from y'all and get different opinions and perspectives on the NFL as it is right now. We're going to move on to the last segment of my videos that I plan to do. It's called Top 3 Must See. This is where I take the games that I believe are going to be the best 3 games this week in the NFL. And at number 3, I have the Detroit Lions taking on the Dallas Cowboys. I think that this is one of those games that's just going to be electrifying, and the Cowboys are going to shock a lot of people. And yeah, I just think that even with Jared Goff throwing amazingly, he might do it again in this game too. I think the Cowboys come up with this win, and I think it's going to be a great game. The second pick I have was the Thursday night game that happened a few days ago where the Niners played the Seahawks. Of course, it's already happened. But, I had it in there before I filmed this video. I promise I'm going to get these videos out sooner, hopefully Wednesday or Thursday of this next coming week before week 7. So yeah, I think that's going to be a great game, electrifying game. Hopefully the best Thursday night football game we've had all season because it just hasn't been that great of Thursday night football. And then at number 1, as you probably could have guessed, the Ravens and Commanders game. I already mentioned those huge playmakers like Jane Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, all those guys. And I just think that's going to be a great game to watch. I can't wait to see it. And yeah, tune back into my channel. I'm not only just doing picks, I'm planning on doing news stories, other stuff involving the NFL, just like doing research and making kind of videos like that. So I hope this was very entertaining for y'all. I hope that my videos get better and that I can improve on my broadcast voice. And yeah, thank y'all so much for watching my videos. I'll catch y'all next week.